Welcome to this episode of the Building Texas Show. Today we are in Dallas, Texas, and probably more importantly, Arlington, Texas. And we're talking to the CEO and founder of NexCourt, Mark Kundysek, and the projects that he's doing around the World Cup are really exciting, and they're longtime legacy projects for the community. So, Mark, thank you for doing your work today and spending time with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
So I really appreciate the story of NexCourt, and it is a small business story that really started with a lot of hustle. And it sounds like you went out there and played every role in your small business as it got started. But tell us, how did you get into the sport court uh, business?
Well, I've always been in construction early on, from age 16 through college. And so I've always enjoyed the outdoors. And around 1988, 89, I got my first true job out of college, inside sales, for a company in Grand Prairie, Texas called Reed Plastics. And Reed Plastics, we were a color concentrate house for the injection molding industry. And about a year into that, I noticed some of these interlocking plastic tiles in my sales manager's office, and did some research and found out the company was in Salt Lake City. It was called Sport Court. And no phones, no emails, so I had to write a letter and told them I was interested in being a dealer. And they wrote a letter back, and I think it was $250 investment. I got this little satchel with samples and brochures and just kind of hit the road running. Um, and that was in 1988, 89. And so that's how it got started.
So you've enjoyed the growth of the Metroplex region then from 88 to today.
Yes. I can remember building courts in Southlake when nothing was there. I can remember building courts in Collin County when nothing was there. 121 through Frisco and the Colony, and it was just a 2-lane country road. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing how it's grown over the years, and just wished I would have had some money to buy some land somewhere, but when when it all comes to that, it always seems like we just don't have the money. But no, but it's been fun to watch the area grow. And I think the first 3 courts I built, one was in Arlington, one was in Southlake, and one was in University Park in 1991.
Well, we come together around the World Cup because throughout your business's history, you've given back to the community in a lot of ways and built these courts to bring people together. But I think the planning committee for the World Cup saw that potential and tapped you on a pretty big project.
Yeah, we're so blessed to get that. It started with a pretty high referral from FC Dallas. Over the last 6 years, we've built 6 mini pitch soccer courts for FC Dallas. And so we were contacted by the North Texas World Cup committee, and had, half a dozen meetings, and we're fortunate to be awarded that contract. Yes, it's pretty large. It's 6 mini pitch soccer courts throughout North Texas. Each one of them is about 5,000 square feet. And I think the first ribbon cutting is this Saturday in Dallas at the Espinarza Community Center in North Dallas. Second one will be in Arlington, Texas on June the 26th. And it's going to be pretty close to downtown Arlington. And so we'll be busy over the next 30 to 45 days to continue getting these courts installed.
And the committee's goal there is to leave a lasting impression for the World Cup in the region and for soccer in the region. And what has that done when you've installed these courts in the past? What has it done for a community like Arlington?
I think it gives community a place for the kids to go practice. I think coaches, trainers will be able to use these courts. Mini pitch soccer or another another name is futsal. It's a little bit different area. The ball you use, it's almost like it's got glue in it. It doesn't have a lot of air in it. So everything's done below the waist. So kids are learning how to passing skills, foot skills. Indoor soccer, outdoor soccer, you have slide tackling and various headers and things of that nature. But futsal is really played below the waist, and these mini pitch soccer courts give the community and the kids a place to go and increase their skills, build teamwork, um, build character, and yeah, they're there to stay. And we also feel that the North Texas World Cup Committee may even come in after the games are over and build a few more of these.
Well, that would be exciting. And soccer's played a role in your life as well. You were a competitive soccer player at a high level.
Yeah, I started in 1969, 1970. I think the Arlington Soccer Association formed in 1970, and I grew up in Arlington. Played all the way through high school, and they actually played in college um, in Lubbock, Texas, for Texas Tech. And so I love the sport. Um, Definitely kept me in shape. But now that when this opportunity came along, and being in business for 35 years, growing up in Arlington and playing soccer, I really truly wanted this contract really bad. So we worked really, really hard with the North Texas World Cup Committee and got within their budget and um, and that's kind of how the whole thing ended is that partnership.
But this is not unique. I've seen where you've worked with the Dallas Mavericks and other large entities that want to give back into their communities. And it seems like you've built courts for foundations for some time now.
Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks, it goes back 25 years ago. We did a park in Dallas, and it was an old tennis court, and we uh, the Mavericks prior to NexCourt had gone through and renovated some courts, but they couldn't find that right product that would give them a long-term fix. A lot of these courts that we renovate with the North Texas World Cup Committee, the Mavericks, the Dallas Stars, uh, FC Dallas, they're typically old tennis courts and old basketball courts that are no longer in use. So when the Mavericks had done a court with paint, in 6 to 8 months, it was already starting to crack and peel. So when we did the first one 25 years ago, I think it built a partnership and relationship, knowing that the monies and that they budget for these was going to last a lot longer. So fast forward 25 years later, we've done close to 50 basketball courts for the Dallas Mavericks Foundation. And then 17 years ago, I was able to team up with Nancy Lieberman, and she started a program called Dream Courts. And she's up to 150 Dream Courts right now. And I think we've done close to 50 of them in North Texas and Oklahoma. And then 6 or 7 years ago is when we teamed up with the Dallas Stars Foundation and FC Dallas Foundation. And we're currently working with FC Dallas Foundation on another mini pitch soccer court in Mansfield. They just opened a new soccer stadium in Mansfield. And so they want to tie this in with the World Cup and the new stadium. But after 35 years, when we started doing this, a light clicked and said, "This is the way I'm giving back to the community right here." And it was through the Mavericks got it started, kick-started, and then we were able to team up with the other professional sports teams. And then beyond that, now we're in the last 2 to 3 years, we've teamed up with the Children's Cancer Fund of Dallas, Make-A-Wish, um, Dak Prescott Foundation, and we've just kind of worked together on raising money for these nonprofit groups, and it's just been a blessing for us the whole way.
So it's incredible that you're working with all of these foundations. But today, who in the market is the right person to call you? Who from a city, a county, a large enterprise, who are you talking to in those businesses to say, oh, yeah, we should set this up in Mansfield or wherever that next city might be?
I think it sometimes we don't know when the phone call is going to happen. Um, like uh, last year, we did a court for Cade Cunningham, who plays for the Detroit Pistons, and we renovated a basketball court in the city of Arlington Park and Rec, where he grew up playing basketball. At the same time, we get a call from Isaiah Hartenstein of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who has a foundation, and we built a court for the Boys and Girls Club in East Oklahoma City. So sometimes we don't know when these calls are going to happen, but when we do, we really take the opportunity to do whatever it takes to get these courts in these communities. Um, it's from a residential standpoint. Like I said, in 1991, we built 3 backyard courts. Well, we weren't the first company to be building backyard courts in DFW back then, but we're the only one that took it forward and hasn't stopped since. And so backyard game courts are probably 60% of our business still today. Um, and then with the game of pickleball, it's exploded in 2021, 2022. Some of the phone calls we're getting now are investors who want to open up a pay for play type facility where they have a restaurant. And we just finished the one most recently in North Fort Worth called City Pickle, and they have 16 pickleball courts. We're working on another one right now, uh, I believe in Salina, and it's got 12 pickleball courts. Um, um, so that those are the type of customers that will call, uh, because we are a sports construction company, whether it's pickleball, soccer, uh, basketball, volleyball, sand volleyball. We just finished a really nice bocce ball court for a family in Fort
Mm.
Worth. Um, so just a truly construction company that focuses on sports.
So if you're renovating or building your house, good residential opportunity call. And then if you're in a foundation, a city, there's a commercial viability as well. Where can they find more information online about NexCourt?
NexCourt.com. Also, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Um, I think Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn are show a lot more up to date projects in currently being worked on. I think we've already started doing some really cool uh, drone video and footage of some of these World Cup courts going in. So, but www.nexcourt.com. And then, of course, our office number is 817-283-4646.
And I'd encourage people to come out to the ribbon cuttings. Those are going to be a lot of fun. And if you're not able to attend, watch them online. But there's going to be a lot of excitement around what the World Cup Planning Committee is doing and the announcements that they're making throughout the World Cup.
Yeah, I think the ribbon cutting is going to be a blast. The first one is this Saturday, Espinarza Community Center in North Dallas. That's this Saturday on the 20th. And the second one will be in downtown Arlington at George Stevens Park on the 26th, June 26th. Yeah, I expect a lot of ribbons, a lot of the mayors and players and kids, and they'll probably have jerseys and things of that nature. So it's always a lot of fun. That's one thing the Mavericks do a really good job of, as well as Nancy Lieberman and FC Dallas and the Dallas Stars Foundation, is when we do these courts in these community centers and nonprofit groups, they do an incredible job with the ribbon cutting. Um, and it all involves the kids. There's always a group of kids that are there for the ribbon cutting, and there's a heartfelt speech that's given, and it's really a lot of fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm excited to see what these courts do. after the World Cup, and then encourage everyone to get their kids out on courts like this moving. And I think that's part of the legacy of sport and what we can do in these towns across America, introduce people to soccer in a new way. Futsal is a new one for me, so I'll look forward to looking that up. But Mark, thank you for the way that you're building Texas and the impact that you're leaving in North Texas.
Well, Justin, thank you for the opportunity to meet with you, and I really appreciate it.
Enjoy the World Cup and enjoy those ribbon cuttings. We'll look forward to supporting you online.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for enjoying this episode of the Building Texas Show. We release a new episode every week, and you can find us across all social platforms. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.